challenge I set myself, cover all 7,000 feet and 150 miles in 10 hours elapsed. Did I do it? Without further ado, let's do it. Good morning. Welcome to day 500 of winter and another ultra cycling related video. The weather might be minging. It's going to be pretty hard to ruin my mood today. If you watched any previous ones, thanks for coming back. If this is your first visit, my name's Andy. I'm an ultra cyclist on the south coast of the UK. The videos I make are about ultra cycling, training and adventures. So if you have endurance goals of your own, subscribe and follow along. I'm sure there'll be something in there for you, and if not, hopefully it'll teach me something. I'm recording this a little after the fact. I've just had about 2 hours of rain, so just getting through that. The forecast was for some pretty minging weather for the first couple of hours, and then hopefully sun. It has brightened up a bit, so hopefully in the next hour or so we'll get some blue sky and some sunshine. There's a reason why I'm excited to be out today. This ride marks the start of my 2024 ultra season. So I decided to start it off with a bit of a bang and set myself a challenge. So on the cards for today, riding one of my favourite training routes. It's about 160 miles roughly, and all over the southeast of England. Not only that, I'm gonna add in a time constraint to keep the pressure on and keep the pace up. On this route, I head north out of Portsmouth, climb into the South Downs, past Butser Hill, over a long climb, past Rake. That's the first tough climb. After that, carry on heading towards London till I hit Leith Hill. Climb up and over Leith Hill, descend towards Leatherhead, to Box Hill, climb up Box Hill, descend and turn south for Brighton. I basically ride London to Brighton until I hit Ditchling Beacon. And if you know Ditchling Beacon, it's absolutely savage. I'll be hitting that about the 100 mile mark. From there, descending into Brighton, and then ride home to Portsmouth, another 50 miles or so. Riding this route takes me into a few areas that I rarely get into, so I'm quite looking forward to the second half of this ride, and hopefully some sun. As for the time constraint, I'm going to set myself a 10-hour window, all in, to do 150 miles. See how it goes. Maybe I get home in that window, but it'll give me 8 or so miles at the end to cool down and roll into the city a bit more gently. That may not seem too challenging to some watching this. I've ridden this route myself a lot faster in the past, but on a summer bike, in summer conditions. These are not summer conditions. And this is not a summer bike. Someone asked me in the comments recently, what does this bike weigh? I hadn't really thought about it. So I weighed it, including the water bottles, about 1.5 litres of water. This bike is 16 kilos. So lugging around a fair bit of weight. So the challenge really comes in not being able to stop at all. I know generally this bike as it is, I tend to average about 15 miles per hour at the best of times. So dragging this thing as it is over some of the longest and best known climbs in the southeast for 10 hours straight, 50 mile per hour is probably going to be a bit of a challenge. So right now, just rolling through a village called Dunsfold. I'm pretty sure I'm not too far from Leith Hill now. Rake is done and out of the way. Leith Hill next, Box Hill very soon after. It's beautiful out here though. I love how riding in England, it's quite a small country really. You move from county to county, the buildings all look different, slightly different style, brick and stone, the trees start to change. Love that. Right, 50-mile update. I'm counting pretty fine. I just rolled past the first 50 miles and have a 7-minute buffer. So I'm having to push on quite a bit actually. In the coming 100 miles, still got Leith Hill, Box Hill, and Ditchling Beacon. I know right now I'm about 1 mile from Leith Hill. It's probably the second hardest of the three. So if you don't know Leith Hill, I'll put some numbers up on the screen. I don't remember them myself. What I do remember, it's quite long, it's quite steep, and it kicks up quite hard about halfway up. Just like that, we're about to start Box Hill. And what is there to say about Box Hill? I rode it recently, and you probably know it from Swift anyway. Let's take this one off then. I'm not far from Ditchling Beacon now, and not feeling too bad to be honest. Legs have been pretty sore at times, but not so bad. This has been a really good workout. A session like this is really good training for ultra events. If you've got a pace to keep, a pace to hold, deadlines to hit time-wise, give something like this a go. Right, on to the beacon. Right, here we are. Right at the base of Ditchling Beacon. This is gonna hurt. Every single time I've ridden this, and I've ridden it about 4 or 5 times now, every single time there's a point where I think I'm not going to make it up there. Right now it's looking pretty moody. You can't quite see the extent of it. Take my word for it, it's pretty savage. Without further ado, let's do it. Well, this is different. Not a lot of visibility up here. Luckily I brought 2 sets of lights. That's Ditchling Beacon done, and honestly, really no nice way to describe that. It's awful. Just kicks and kicks and kicks. Hello. Up on the top of the South Downs Ridge now. Descend to Brighton, and then ride home along the coast. We have a bit of a stiff headwind apparently. That was fun. Different. I think it was just really low level cloud. Descending into Brighton, it pretty much all just disappeared. A little bit misty ahead, but not too bad. So that's Brighton dealt with now. It's quite stop-start through town. So another 50-mile check-in, and I'm a little bit past that now. I thought I'd get through the clouds and navigate the city. It's quite stop-start through there. When I was up in the clouds, at that point I passed through 100 miles. I'm 7 minutes behind. Brighton being quite stop-start, it's going to be tight. Physically, starting to feel the pinch now. Just under 110 miles. I barely stopped. Box Hill I ran in to grab some water. Apart from that, I've barely really stopped apart from traffic lights. So my legs are feeling pretty rough. Trying to keep the heart rate around tempo. About 150 beats per minute roughly. Just see what happens. This last 50 or so miles, it's really flat. In some ways, that's really good. In others, not so great. The headwind is pretty rough, and you end up in the same stress position for quite a long time. So out of the saddle, trying to let a bit of blood into my backside. I'm not sure if I'd prefer that or Ditchling Beacon again. I think I'll take the flat. I really needed that. I was all out of water. Really needed the sugar. This headwind is sapping me slowly but surely. Only a couple of hours left. Hour and a half? Something like that. I think it's about to get dark soon. Nearly there. 9 hours. And starting to feel it, well, I was starting to feel it hours ago, to be honest. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna have a big push now for an hour and empty the tank and see what happens. I don't normally ride this way on big days out. I want an adventure and a good workout, but generally some stops, so non-stop riding for 9 hours stings. But it's been a great ride. And finally, blue skies, just in time for it to get dark. Great. Done. That is 10 hours of effort done. Spent the final hour pushing as much as I could to empty the tank. In all honesty, it's pretty empty to begin with. Definitely squeezed out every last drop there. My legs are ruined. Feeling a bit better now. Obviously still riding, so I didn't make it back to my doorstep in 10 hours. Got fairly close, but did I manage the 150? So let's get home, hot bath, food, milkshake, and look at the numbers. Hello, it is Tuesday, and it's raining once again. I couldn't bring myself to film this when I got back on Sunday. Got home about 7:30 PM. Had a hot bath, lots of food, and laid horizontally for a long time. So I've now had about 46 hours recovery. Everything hurt yesterday, everything was aching, and to be honest, it's not a whole lot better today. A bit better. But I ride a zone 2 session on Tuesdays for an hour. It's perfect recovery. So that's what I'm gonna do. I did have though an amazing ride, an amazing day out, and a really good start to my ultra season. So really pleased with that. If you've got any events planned or any ultra goals, a session like that, as I said before, is a really good way to find out what it's like to push on for extended periods of time. You might be surprised how much time you lose. I was riding for 10 hours, felt like flat out, smashing the pedals 10 hours straight. As you can probably imagine, loads of traffic lights, water stops, that kind of stuff, all really adds up. So of my 10 hours, almost half an hour of that was stopped. It's quite surprising. But if you want to ride long distance events and just take it easy and enjoy the route, then do that. Just do what you enjoy. Now, the obvious question, the challenge I set myself was to cover all 7,000 feet of elevation and 150 miles in 10 hours elapsed. Did I do it? No, I didn't. When I hit the 10-hour mark on that ride, I covered just under 147 miles. So by my maths, about 15 minutes out. That said, the numbers are kind of arbitrary really. It's more about the adventure, and that's exactly what I got. Having that target, the numbers were kind of picked out of the air. But it kept the pressure on and the adrenaline up, and I had a really good time. The ride in the end all in was 156, 157 miles, something like that. So it's an epic day out. Now, the stabilizers are well and truly off. It's time to get some big rides in the books. And hopefully, a little bit less rain. So hopefully, you'll have a good week. And I'll see you on the next one.